So this is lesson 1. I am going to start with doing some trivial calculations with MATLAB and show you in this lesson how to use MATLAB as a simple calculator. So I'm just going to write my codes here in command window for now. And then as we get more advanced, I'll move to editor. Okay, so the goal of this lesson is to use MATLAB as a very simple calculator. Okay, so I just want to talk about the operators that you see in MATLAB. The arithmetic operators are so in a simple calculator, what do we need? We need addition, subtraction, multiplication. In MATLAB, you show it with a star. That's multiplication. And then backslash is division. Exponentiation is shown in MATLAB with caret sign. And then you can have sine of something, cosine of something, log of something. These are keywords that you can use. There are more, but today I'm just going to use these. And so one thing that you have to pay attention, if you're familiar with other programming languages, for example, when you type 2 in C, you have to specify for the compiler that 2, is it integer, is it float, meaning does it have decimal point? But in MATLAB you don't have to do that. You just type 2 and then MATLAB automatically would know it's an integer. And the thing you have to be careful is that computations inside MATLAB are performed using double precision. So if you want to change that, there's a keyword you can use, which is format, that you will get familiar with as we go on. So for today's lesson, this is all the things I'm going to use. So if I want to add two numbers, it's easy. Subtract, multiplication, this is the sign. This is the sign for division, backslash. This is very specific to MATLAB, like in other programming languages, it's different, but in MATLAB, power of something shows its exponentiation is shown with caret sign. Sine, cosine, log, these are keywords that MATLAB understands. And you use keyword format to change the precision because, as I said, computations inside MATLAB are performed using double precision. So if you want to change that, you have to use format. Okay, so let's do some exercises and use MATLAB as a calculator. So I'm going back here. Now let's say if I want to add two numbers. Very easy, I type in command window now. Let's just stay in command window. 2 plus 2 and you press enter. So if you enter 2 plus 2 and hit the return enter key, the result of an unassigned expression, as you see here, is saved in default variable ands. So as you see, if you click on it, an Excel sheet is created and your 4 is here, so it's saved. And the name of your variable is ands, okay? So it is whatever you do, whatever calculation you do, it's saved in the default variable. So by default, it's called ands. Now you can put it in a variable. Let's say x is equal to 2 plus 2. And then if you enter, then now its name is not ands, its name is x. So 4 is saved in variable x. If you're not familiar with any programming language and this is your first time seeing a programming language, I have something fundamental to tell you now that you can use it in other languages as well. It's the same everywhere. This equal sign in programming, it has a very special meaning. So if I put x equal to 4, that means that I'm putting 4 in variable x. That's in programming, that's what it means. It doesn't mean x is equal to 4. If you want to write equal, you need two equal signs. So it's important to read it like this. 4 is going to be put in variable x. If you type this that I did, that means 4, 2 plus 2 will be calculated 4 and it will be put in variable x. So now if I go here, variable x, it's saved as 4. So if you double click on it, you will see your answer is 4, and if you can click on x, it will be 4. Okay, now another thing in programming is that when you finish a line, usually with a semicolon. So when you write a code in different programming languages, you finish it with semicolon. So a semicolon at the end suppresses a screen output here in MATLAB. MATLAB, for example, if I type y is equal to 8 plus 9 and put a semicolon and press enter, you don't see any output. So if you put a semicolon at the end, the screen output will be suppressed, but nevertheless, your y will be calculated. So now you have 8 plus 9, 17, and it's in variable y. Okay, now let's type something more complicated. Like I want to type 2 power of 2 in MATLAB. So 2 power of 2, 2 caret 2 means 2 power of 2. Now let's add it to log of something. And I just throw it here for pi. If you want to, and you see you always have help. I want to put instead of x, log of x, put log of pi, which is 3.14, as you know. In MATLAB, pi, you can put pi. And then times is a star sine of x. So you might ask, okay, what is x? X is the variable that is here, and MATLAB will remember it. So it will be sine of 4. If I don't put a semicolon, I'll see the result here in command window. If I put it, I'll see the result here. Now, before my y was 8 plus 9, now it has changed to this number, 3.13. That's the result of this, x being 4. So because MATLAB is basically a software for numerical computation, MATLAB knows trigonometry. So for example, if I want to say, for example, if I type theta, I'm going to call my variable theta, okay? And I'm going to put a cosine of -1. Now theta will be 3.14. So as you see, MATLAB knows trigonometry. Here is cosine of, so what does it mean, a cosine in MATLAB? I just typed a cosine. So cosine of -1 minus 1, in MATLAB, you type it as a cosine of -1. Okay, so the answer is in radian. If you want degrees, you have to type a cosine d of, for example, -1. So you'll get more comfortable using trigonometry as we go on, or Google is your best friend. If you want to type something, for example, cosine of cosine -1, and you don't know, you just Google the keyword for cosine -1 and a cosine will come. So the good news is MATLAB knows trigonometry. And as I said, the precision is in MATLAB for the numbers are 2. So if you want to format your number, you should use keyword format. For example, if now it's my theta is like this. If I say format long and then theta and want to see theta, you see it shows you more precision because you change the format of your output. And so what if I want to quit MATLAB? You can quit by selecting quit from the file menu, or you can just type quit. If you press quit, I'm not going to do it, but if you enter, you're going to quit MATLAB. So you saw here how I used MATLAB as a simple calculator. For example, if you want to divide, as I said, it's backslash. So as you see, now that I changed the format to long, I see more precision. You can change it to short, format short. And then want to see ants again. You see, it changed the format. So I'll talk about format. We will talk about it more later, but for now, I just want to expose you to how to use how MATLAB can be used as a tool for very simple calculations for like a calculator. You can multiply numbers, use a star. Okay, so if you want to know more about format, you just type help format. And lots of information about format shorts, format long G, format shorts, escape fixed words with 5 digits, long with 15 digits. And if you have short with E, floating point format with 5 digits. So the good news is that you always have help keyword to help you. Okay, now I want to go back to my initial. So now if I type theta to see it, it went back to my default. So if you want to go back to your default format, you just type format. Okay. Now let's do some arithmetic operations with MATLAB, like how would you, for example, type something like this, 2 power of 5 over 2 power of 5 minus 1. Let's say I want to type it in MATLAB as an arithmetic operation. So to do that, you can just use caret, right? So you can say 2 power of 5 divided by 2 power of 5 minus 1 and press enter and it will come. What about, I'm going to do some examples and I encourage you to do it with me to get some exposure and exercise. So let's say I want to do this calculation with MATLAB. 1 minus 1 over 2 power of 5 minus 1. So the only thing for this one you have to know is that for 5 you use caret, right? So it will be 1 minus 1 divided by 2 power of 5, and that whole thing will be caret minus 1. So it's the same thing actually as this one. Okay, mathematically. Now, what else? Let's say I want to see what is e power of 3. Now, how would you type this in MATLAB? This is an exponential. In MATLAB, e is shown with exp. So if you type exp 3, it will give you the result. What about log? What about, for example, log of 10 e 3? How would you type this in with MATLAB? So e power of 3 will be exp3, as I said. exp3. So if I don't put it in a variable, it will be automatically saved in a variable called ans, and will come here. As you see, it was something else before, and it's going to replace it. So if you want to save it somewhere as a specific variable, you have to name it. For example, you have to say z is equal to exp3, and then it will be saved in a variable z. Then you can come back and use it. For example, you can say cosine of z, and MATLAB will understand and takes the z from here and put it here. Now it should be this, now, yeah. What about ans? Ans is a variable as well, so you can say cosine of ans and you will get cosine of 0.9465, okay? So let me try that. So cosine of 0.9465. So what is ans? Oh, okay. So okay, what I did is, because I didn't put it in a variable, my ans changed. So now my ans is 0.5845, right? So if I say cosine of ans and press enter, it will show me the cosine of 0.5 that ans was before. Now I get 0.8 as an answer, and my variable ans will change to 0.8. So be careful. If you don't specify a variable, so if I say, for example, zz is equal to cosine of ans, now your ans wouldn't change. this will be saved in a variable called ZZ, and your ANS is 0.8340. So be careful with the variables. If you if you don't specify a variable's name, whatever it's saved in ANS will be updated because ANS is a default value. Now, let's do more example. What is, for example, sine of pi over 6? Sine of pi over 6 in MATLAB. So you just type sine pi divided by 6 and you get the answer 0.5. That 0.5 will be saved in X. Okay, so with all these examples I did, the idea is for you to understand that you can use it as a simple calculator before moving forward. It's good to just play with it, do some simple calculation, get comfortable with operators, the simple operators that I showed you here, plus, minus, multiplication, division, and exponentiation. And the rest are just keywords that MATLAB understands because it's a mathematical tool. So there are lots of keywords which are similar to the ones that we actually write on table, write on paper, so it's easy to remember. This is the end of lesson 1, using MATLAB as a simple calculator.